Hey everybody, welcome back. We are coming into the end of the year, and for most of us, we are probably finishing up our Christmas shopping, getting together with friends and family, and maybe a couple of work parties. I want to take a pause during this holiday season and tell you a little bit about some of the things that I do towards the end of the year in terms of my money and my finances as I prepare it to go into the next year. I'm going to share 6 things that I already started doing that'll help set me up for success in 2024. Let's go. Unless you've lived under a rock for the last 2 years, you'll notice that the price of just about everything has gone up. I don't think it's going to be much different in 2024. In fact, I've already gotten a couple of notices from anywhere from my HOA to some of my subscriptions advising me that their rates are going to increase starting in January. So now is a good time to take a look at my fixed expenses and adjust where I need to, but also review some of my discretionary spending. It might mean that I would have to give up some of my favorite things, even for a season, just so I can up my food budget for a little bit, especially with the prices of groceries going up. I use Excel to do my budget, and at the end of each year, I adjust my fixed expenses for the coming year so that my templates are set up, ready to copy and paste every month. If you've never done a budget, any time is a good time to start one, but January is a logical time for most people because it aligns with New Year's resolutions and goal setting. The second thing I'm going to be doing this year is looking at my net worth. To be honest, when I used to hear people talk about net worth, I felt they were too bougie for me, as if they were flaunting how rich they were. I mean, like, who even has a net worth? But then I learned that your net worth is simply your total assets minus your total liabilities, and it isn't exclusively for the rich. Although admittedly, someone who is rich will have a much higher net worth than someone like, say, me. Why is it important to know my net worth, you ask? Well, my friends, whereas doing a monthly budget tracks your financial health on a smaller scale and allows you to make micro adjustments, your net worth looks at the larger picture and it tells you how much you own versus how much you owe. It becomes increasingly important as we get older and get closer to retirement to pay attention to our net worth, because we definitely want it to be a positive and increasing as we age. We want to be sure that we will have the money we need when we retire with little to no debt, and one of the best ways to track this is to know our net worth. Checking on my net worth annually helps me to determine if I'm on track with my financial goals or if I need to make adjustments to my strategy. It can also help me make decisions on large purchases like a home or a car to see what kind of impact those kinds of purchases will have on my net worth in the long term. Think of it this way: if you're into playing sports, maintaining a budget is like playing the game. You practice beforehand, you plan your strategy of how you're going to play, and come game day, you execute your plan. With your budget, you plan what your expenses are going to be and spend as close as you can to your plan. Monitoring your net worth is like watching the scoreboard. Knowing what your score is while you play the game helps you keep track of where you are. If you need to hustle to get more points, you might change your play strategy. Monitoring your net worth regularly tells you your score towards your financial goals, and knowing it may cause you to hustle or change your gameplay a little bit so that you stay on track to meet your financial goals. The other thing that I do is I review my portfolio and meet with my financial advisor. Earlier this week, I met with my financial advisor for our biannual touch base. We reviewed my portfolio's gains and losses, made sure that the beneficiaries on my account were still accurate. We also talked about some of my short-term goals in the coming year in case any of them needed some special funding, and also assess whether the risk that I'm taking right now with my investments are accurate for where I'm at in my life. We agreed that at this stage, my risk level was where it needed to be at moderately risky. You don't have to have a financial advisor to review your portfolio. If you have any kind of investments like stocks or bonds, it's a good idea to review them at least once a year to make sure that they are still in alignment with your financial goals and needs. This becomes more important as we get older, as our risk tolerance, our tax status, our time horizon, and our needs change. If you're finding value in this video so far, please hit that like button and share this video with a friend. It really does help to get this video out to more people. Thanks for your support. This next one is kind of boring and I've actually been putting it off, but it is reviewing my insurance policies, which includes my car insurance and my homeowner's insurance. I want to make sure that my coverage is still appropriate to my needs, and if I need to make any changes, I can talk with my insurance agent, or in some cases, I can shop for new policies and see if that might be a better fit for me. One more thing I'm going to be doing before the year ends is start to look at how I can rebuild my emergency fund. If you're familiar with Murphy's Law, you know that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and that's why it's so important to have an emergency fund. Personally, for me in 2023, everything that required an emergency fund just about happened. Medical procedures, sick dogs, home repairs. I felt a hit to my emergency fund, so I'm really going to start looking at how I can start building that back up again. Now, this last one might be considered year-end preparation light as finances go, and it's to touch base with your life coach or your mentor. I like to include it in my year-end task because it really does help shape my short and long-term goals, which definitely includes my finances. I'm fortunate to have a life coach that I meet with regularly and not just at the end of the year, but I'm extra appreciative of our year-end calls because it's a time that I get to reflect on the year that's just passed and maybe remember some milestones. But we also talk about my upcoming goals, and she helps me talk through some of the tactics I can do to help me accomplish them. There's nothing like that feeling of having someone to encourage you and support you and be your hype woman. I had my last call for the year with my life coach this week, and I was particularly excited because we were talking about this YouTube channel and how thrilled I was to be sharing this with you. If you have such a person in your life, I encourage you to connect with them before the year ends. And it doesn't have to be a formal life coach. It can be a friend you trust, a coach, a boss who serves as a mentor for you, or maybe even an auntie. So that's it. Those are the 6 things I'm going to be doing as 2023 closes and we head into 2024. Comment below if there are other things that you like to do before the end of the year. I'd love to hear about it. If you like this video, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and also subscribe to my channel. It'll help us to have more chats like this in the new year. Until the next video, be kind and make smart choices.